for me, I think the interesting thing is fundamentally the opportunities are as effectively as enormous as the problems and the challenges. There's the pace of digital working as an industry is just so rapid, but really the opportunities are really sort of run parallel to the challenges that are coming.
Yeah, and I think to even build off that, I think a big thing that's been highlighted to us is that everyone talks about the word insight, but an insight isn't an insight unless it can actually solve one of those problems. Otherwise, it's really just an observation.
Yeah, and
it can't do any good.
Yeah, and I think the other interesting one is businesses are desperate for genuine value-adding partnerships from their agencies. And very, very few of the conversations we've had have actually been about, I need an ad. It really is, how do you help me move my business into a place that is ready for tomorrow. It may come through communication, but it really fundamentally is a much, much bigger challenge than I need another TVC.
Yeah, and I think the big probably lightning bolt moment for me was yesterday when someone said that all communications are integrated in the consumer's mind, and it's really up to you about how they perceive those. That was huge, because we all talk about above the line and below the line and different campaigns, but the reality is that when it comes to a consumer, everything's coming into them one way, and they're not breaking it down to all these touch points that we talk about.
Yeah, we have disciplines, they don't.
Yeah.
And I think that was a really, really good point. Is whether we want it to be integrated or not. That's how they see it. And so our job is to effectively try and ensure that that the integration that does happen is the one that we want to happen.
For me, I think it's continuing to ask why. The first answer or the first problem isn't necessarily going to be the right one, and it's delving deeper into what's the real business problem that we've got going on, what's the real insight we need to crack, what's the real reason why we're doing this, why are we using these touch points, and it's really delving deeper on every level.
I completely agree. I thought about this question a lot, and for me, as a creative director, I love creating. The challenge is I actually probably need to get much smarter about knowing before we start creating, and my creative teams do the same. The thing that they love is the craft and the art and this intangible magic of creativity. But unless it's asking the right questions at the right time to the right people for the right problem, it's just a lovely little passion project on the side. So yeah, that knowing before creating, I think is critical.
And I think it's definitely up to the account service and the planning department to ask all those questions before they go to the creative team, so that all that information is there and ready to go, and as a team we can collaborate and work together to come up with the best solution for that problem.
How much I don't know. I think, for me, I think it really is, and I feel like this as a creative, but I knew I wasn't alone, but it was quite fascinating to see, because I was the only creative on the course, sort of pure play creative. Everybody is much more interested in the difference or the impact that work has. This idea of, am I just creating another piece of media collateral? Am I creating something, or what am I actually doing it for? What am I building? What am I creating? Whether it's meaning or purpose, but it's a conversation from the top. We have all these fantastic CSOs and CEOs, all the way through down to the junior. Is why do we do what we do, and can we get some meaning out of it?
For me, I think the most interesting, was probably almost fascinating thing was really when we started talking about psychographics and the effects that they can have, and that's the way that the future of marketing is going to go. When you look at campaigns like Obama and Trump and Brexit, and how using psychographics to target people has actually changed the outcome of major world decisions. And it's scary to think that that's the way that we're going, and whether or not us as an industry have to at some point create an ethical line and boundary and go, no, we can't keep pushing this because this is going too far, and suddenly we're manipulating people rather than informing them to make their own choices.
One of the presenters had a slide that said there's and I forget what the name of the company is, but they basically taken out their creative department and put it in an artificial intelligence unit. That is terrifying as a creative, and also I think as an individual, as a human, to go that effectively a robot is not only doing the tasks I need to do, but is making the messages and the thinking that effectively shape my life. I think I'm going to be more the pain in the ass, to be honest. I think I'm going to be saying to Lauren's question, why? Do we know that? Who told you that? How do you know that? Did the client say that? Well, let's go back and ask them, let's interrogate that. Or I need a bit more time because I think that's a really interesting thing. So I think I'd like to think it'll make me better. I think with practice, I hopefully will get better. But I'm certainly going to go in probably with a slightly more questioning mindset, which may not endear me to my entire office when I get back.
I think it's been a good reminder of all the steps you actually need to undertake, and it's a good reminder of how to not only work integrated within your own agency, but also with the other agencies. We've had PR and media and creative agencies and all sorts of people here over the last couple of days, and it's a great reminder that we all need to collaborate in order to get to that common goal. We all work on the same client, we're also trying to solve the same business problem, and we need to work together as a collective to make that happen, and I think that's the biggest thing to take away.